Hey, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Vanda, founder of the Period Makeover Solution and Fertility Maximizer. And today I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what I would do if I were planning to get pregnant this fall and I wanted that to happen quickly and, on my planned, desired timeline. Before we jump in, I do want to give a reminder or maybe an announcement. Fertility Kickstart Week for the month of August is happening next week. You can sign up for that through Sunday night, August 16th. That is a $47 investment, and it actually goes right along with what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to jump right in. If I were planning to get pregnant this fall, the number one thing that I would do, and I recommend you to do, is to start with a fertility blocker assessment. If you're like, what in the world is that? I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm going to tell you about it. This assessment has been curated based on functional medicine principles. It's actually built off of a tool that the Institute of Functional Medicine gave to me during my functional medicine training. And it is an assessment that asks you to fill out information about symptoms and how often you experience them and how intense you experience them when they happen. And it's going to be different from probably anything you've ever filled out for your doctor before. It's very detailed. There are several questions, and you're going to read some of them and you're going to answer the question. You're going to be like, why in the world would she want to know this when we're talking about me getting pregnant or when we're talking about my fertility? And the reason behind that is all of our body systems are intertwined and communicating with one another. And I think we all kind of have this awareness around the fact that there are multiple things that impact our fertility that are not just our female sex hormones. This assessment allows us to really evaluate your health and your current state and what symptoms you're currently having as a whole, and then give us a direction of where we would be most beneficial to put our focus and kind of start. Does that mean it's the only thing we need to work on? No. Does it mean it's the only thing that's like out of balance or needs attention? No. But it helps prioritize where you start. And then the good news with that is once you kind of tackle that area, it's going to have a positive trickle down effect to all of your other areas, all your other symptoms, and you're going to start seeing improvements in those as well. So that's why it's beneficial and strategic for us to like tackle the number one problem first and then kind of reassess and work our way almost down the list. Now, if I have lost you a little bit in this explanation of this assessment, I want to kind of simplify it for you or maybe say it in a different way that helps you better understand what we're doing here. So, this assessment is going to take the information that you put into it, assessing those symptoms, and again, that is based off how frequent you're experiencing the symptom they're asking about, and then how intense it is. So is it something that's just kind of like, oh, it's noticeable, or it's like, no, this is really like a problem when it happens? Is it something that happens every day? Is this just something that pops up maybe once a week or once a month, every once in a while? From there, it is then going to prioritize 8 different areas of focus. And that is where we're going to start with that number one area. It's what I call your number one fertility blocker. Once we have that piece of information, we know what your result is. I have a cheat sheet that has been created to specifically tackle that problem. So it's got diet recommendations in there, lifestyle recommendations, and supplement recommendations so that we're coming at this with a holistic, strategy-driven, science-backed approach to fixing this number one fertility blocker problem. Now, I say all of this because sometimes when you are on a fertility journey and you're trying to get pregnant, it's so tempting to just like do it all and try to overhaul all the things like your whole life. Like, I'm going to switch to eating all organic foods. I'm going to completely give up Cokes. I'm going to completely cut out sugar. I'm going to start exercising and working out 7 days a week. And it's like, number one, if we make a bunch of changes at one time, it's very overwhelming to us and our body. It's like overwhelming to us mentally, but it's also physically overwhelming for our body because it's like, holy moly, what is happening what's shifting? Like what's different? Why are we, doing all these different things all of a sudden? That's also really hard to maintain. If you feel like you are trying to completely change your entire life and all your habits overnight, you're likely not going to be able to sustain that because our brain is wired to rely on what it already knows. And we're kind of going to default back into what our normal habits and our normal patterns are because that's our brain's way of trying to like protect us and keep things status quo, if you will. So it's more beneficial to you and more strategic to just make small changes at a time. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure that the changes that you're making are the right changes. We don't want to, just throw spaghetti at the wall and hope that something sticks. We want to know that what we're doing, the actions that we're taking is what is actually going to help us. And we can understand the fact that it may not fix everything overnight. It may take a while for it to for us to see the positive effect of it. It might be a few weeks, it might be a couple months, it might be a couple cycles, depending on, how often you ovulate and have your period. We know it's not going to be just like an immediate answer, and that's okay. But what we don't want to do is get caught up in, I don't know what is going to work for me. So I'm just going to try this thing that I read on the internet, or I'm going to do the same thing that my cousin's sister did because it worked for her. And hopefully it will work for me too. Because we can end up spinning our wheels and wasting a lot of time that way doing things that actually won't help us. They helped that person and that's great, but it doesn't help us. And when we're talking about fertility and we're talking about your desire to get pregnant and start a family, we don't want to put that off any longer than we have to. You're already in a period of waiting that you never expected to be in and you never wanted to be in, and you don't want to spend any more time here than what you absolutely have to, because let's be honest, it sucks. So if you are like, yeah, okay, sign me up, tell me how to take this assessment, it sounds like exactly what I need. This is what I created Fertility Kickstart Week for. I have all of my one-on-one clients do this assessment as like one of their very first to-do list items while we're waiting for their testing supplies to come, because this information is crucial. We need it. We need to know where we can immediately start making some tweaks and changes that are really going to help us make positive improvements and positive boosts to that fertility. So I hosted Fertility Kickstart Week back in July. I did record a podcast episode about it back then when I first announced it. That was episode 117. So if you haven't listened to that episode yet and you want to know a little bit more about what all Fertility Kickstart Week entails, feel free to click back and listen to that. But the basics of it are we're gonna have 5 days together in a private group. It's hosted in Telegram, which is a free, very easy to use app where I'm just gonna be able to send you voice memos and like mini trainings, kind of like short podcast episodes almost, as well as texts. And we're going to be in there together for 5 days. It's going to be a small group. We're going to, on the first day, everyone's going to take the assessment and share their results with me. On the second day, I am then going to send you the cheat sheet that goes along with your area of focus, like what your number one blocker was. I have a cheat sheet customized to that. I'm going to send that to you. I'm going to send you the supplement recommendations. And then we're going to have 3 additional days together to answer your questions, to do a couple mini trainings that are like the basics of what I need everyone to know when they're trying to conceive, and things that often get looked over or missed or misunderstood that can really, really change the game for you. And then at the end of the week, you're going to walk away with this clarity and this plan of what you need to do next. And you'll have 2 options. You can either go forth and implement what I have given you on your own, and hopefully, you're going to get pregnant, you're going to see improvements in your cycle, you're going to be able to go on and do it on your own. At the end of the week, you're also going to have the option to say, okay, this was amazing. I want to continue to get your feedback, and I do want to dive in and do the testing, because now that I kind of know what the issue is and what my number one fertility blocker is, I want to go even deeper with that, and I want to see, why is that my blocker in the first place? So then you're going to have the option to do that one-on-one upgrade with me, where we will get the testing. We'll do the fertility nutrition testing with an HTMA test, and we will do the full cycle hormone testing for you and have me review your data every day and interpret what that means and guide you on this journey as you're implementing these things. So the link to join Kickstart Week is going to be in the show notes. You can also just like go to my website and find it. It would be wellnesswithvanda.com/fertility and then a dash Kickstart Week or just Kickstart. Sorry. It's also linked on my Instagram. So I hope that many of you guys that are listening, there's like over 100 of you that listen to this podcast every single week. And I know that if you're still here and you're still listening, that you're still on your fertility journey. And for a long time, I heard from people that they really did want to get some guidance and get some answers and wanted to work with me, but it felt like a big commitment to just jump into my full one-on-one program, whether that commitment be time, like they were worried they wouldn't have enough time to do it or time to commit to it, or financial because it is an investment and they couldn't, maybe couldn't afford that or the finances just weren't in order at that time, but they still needed help. And I really wanted to be able to offer that in a way that was accessible and also still really impactful. And that's what Kickstart Week was born out of. So, this is like me giving you a small piece of my one-on-one program so that you have a place to get started and you're not like just doing random things and wasting more time. You're going to be able to take really targeted strategic action, and feel confident that what you're doing is going to help you see improvements and is going to help your fertility overall. So I hope that you guys will join me. I'm very, very excited to do this again. I had a lot of fun in July with the group that I did it with. It was really impactful. Those ladies walked away with, great answers. They gave me great questions that I answered throughout the week. And they are about a month out from when we wrapped up, and they're already starting to see improvements in their cycle and their fertility signs overall. So that's always fabulous to hear. So I'm going to leave you guys there for this week. I hope that you have a great rest of your week, and I hope that next week I'm chatting with you inside Kickstart Week.